Mr. Sludge, the medium, by Robert Browning. Now, don't, sir. Don't expose me. Just this once. This was the first and only time, I'll swear. Look at me, see, I kneel. The only time, I swear, I ever cheated. Yes, by the soul of her who hears. Your sainted mother, sir. All, except this last accident, was truth, this little kind of slip. And even this, it was your own wine, sir, the good champagne. I took it for Catawba, you, so kind. Which put the folly in my head. Get up, you still inflict on me that terrible face? You show no mercy? Not for her dear sake, the sainted spirits, whose soft breath even now blows on my cheek. Don't you feel something, sir? You, go tell, then, who the devil cares what such a rowdy chooses to. Please, sir, your thumbs are through my windpipe, sir. Ch. Well, sir, I hope you've done it now. Oh Lord, I little thought, sir, yesterday, when your departed mother spoke those words of peace through me, and moved you, sir, so much, you gave me, very kind it was of you. These shirt studs, better take them back again, please, sir. Yes, little did I think so soon a trifle of trick, all through a glass too much of his own champagne, would change my best of friends into an angry gentleman. Though, T was wrong. I don't contest the point. Your anger's just. Whatever put such folly in my head, I know, T was wicked of me. There's a thick dusk undeveloped spirit, they observed. Owes me a grudge in Negroes, I should say, or else in Irish emigrants. Yourself explained the case so well last Sunday, sir, when we had summoned Franklin to clear up a point about those shares the telegraph. And he swore. Or might it be Tom Paine? Thumping the table close by where I crouched, do me soon a mischief. That's come true. Why, now your face clears. I was sure it would. Then, this one time. Don't take your hand away, through yours I surely kiss your mother's hand. You'll promise to forgive me? Or, at least, tell nobody of this. Consider, sir, what harm can mercy do? Would but the shade of the venerable dead one just vouchsafe a rap our tip? What bit of paper, here? Suppose we take a pencil, let her write, make the least sign, she urges on her child forgiveness? There now, T was your foot, and not a natural creak. Sir, answer, then, once, twice, thrice. See, I'm waiting to say, thrice. All to no use? No sort of hope for me? It's all to post to Greeley's newspaper? What, if I told you all about the tricks? Upon my soul, the whole truth, and not else, and how there's been some falsehood for your part, will you engage to pay my passage out, and hold your tongue until I am safe on board? England's the place, not Boston, no offense. I see what makes you hesitate. Don't fear. I mean to change my trade and cheat no more. Yes, this time really it's upon my soul. Be my salvation. Under heaven, of course. I'll tell some queer things. 60 verses must do. A trifle, though, to start with. I'll refer the question to this table? How you re-changed, then split the difference. 30 more, I'll say. But you leave my presence. Else I'll swear, T was all through those. You wanted yours again, so, picked a quarrel with me, to get them back. Tread on a worm, it turns, sir. If I turn, your fault. T as you'll have forced me. Who's obliged to give up life yet try on self-defense? At all events, I'll run the risk. Done. May I sit, sir? This dear old table, now. Please, sir, a parting egg-nog and cigar. They've been so happy with you. Nice stuffed chairs, and sympathetic sideboards. What an end to all the instructive evenings. It's a light. Well, nothing lasts, as Bacon came and said, here goes, but keep your temper, or I'll scream. Fol lol the redo lddle idle ol. You see, sir, it's your own fault more than mine. It's all your fault, you curious gentlefolk. You, prigs, excuse me, like to look so spry, so clever, while you cling by half a claw to the perch whereon you puff yourselves at roost, such piece of self-conceit as serves for perch because you chose it, so it must be safe. Oh, otherwise you, sharp enough. You spy who slips, who slides, who holds by help of wing, wanting real foothold, who can't keep upright on the other perch, your neighbor chose, not you. There's no outwitting you respecting him. For instance, men love money that, you know, and what men do to gain it. Well, suppose a poor lad, say a help's son in your house, listening at keyholes, Here's the company talk grand of dollars, V-notes, and so forth, how hard they are to get, how good to hold, how much they buy, if, suddenly, in pops he, I've got a V-note. What do you say to him? What's your first word which follows? Your last kick? Where did you steal it, rascal? That's because he finds you, fain would fool you, off your perch, not on the special piece of nonsense, sir, elected your parade ground. Let him try lies to the end of the list, he picked it up, his cousin died and left it him by will, the president flung it to him, riding by, an actress trucked it for a curl of his hair, he dreamed of luck and found his shoe enriched, he dug up clay, and out of clay made gold. How would you treat such possibilities? Would not you, prompt, investigate the case with cowhide? Lies, 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 you'd shout. And why? Which of the stories might not prove mere truth? This last, perhaps, that clay was turned to coin. Let's see, now, give him me to speak for him. How many of your rare philosophers, in plaguey books I've had to dip into, believed gold could be made thus, saw it made and made it? Oh, with such philosophers you're on your best behavior. While the lad with him, in a trice, you settle likelihoods, nor doubt a moment how he got his prize. In his case, you hear, judge and execute, all in a breath, so would most men of sense. But let the same lad hear you talk as grand at the same keyhole, you and company, of signs and wonders, the invisible world. How wisdom scouts our vulgar unbelief more than our vulgarest credulity. How good men have desired to see a ghost, what Johnson used to say, what Wesley did, Mother Goose thought, and fiddle-diddle-dee. If he break in with, sir, I saw a ghost. Ah, the ways change. He finds you perched and prim, it's a conceit of yours that ghosts may be. There's no talk now of cowhide. Tell it out, don't fear us, take your time and recollect. Sit down first. Try a glass of wine, my boy. And, David, is not that your Christian name? Of all things, should this happen twice it may, be sure, while fresh in mind, you let us know. Does the boy blunder, blurt out this, blab that, break down in the other, as beginners will? All candor, all considerateness, no haste. Pause and collect yourself, we understand, that's the bad memory, or the natural shock, or the unexplained phenomena. Egad, the boy takes heart of grace. Finds, never fear, the readiest way to ope your own heart wide, show what I call your peacock perch, pet post to strut, and spread the tail, and squawk upon. Just as you thought, much as you might expect. There be more things in heaven and earth. Horatio. And so on. Shall not David take the hint, grow bolder, stroke you down at quickened rate? If he ruffle a feather, gently, patiently. Manifestations are so weak at first. Doubting, moreover, kills them, cuts all short, cures with a vengeance. There, sir, that's your style. You and your boy such pains bestowed on him, or any headpiece of the average worth, to teach, say, Greek, would perfect him apace, make him a person. Porson? Thank you, sir. Much more, proficient in the art of lies. You never leave the lesson. Fire a light, catch you permitting it to die. You, vey friends. There's no withholding knowledge, least from those apt to look elsewhere for their soul's supply. Why should not you parade your lawful prize? Who finds a picture, digs a medal up, hits on a first edition, he henceforth gives it his name, grows notable. How much more, who ferrets out a medium? David's yours, you highly favored man? Then, pity souls, less privileged. Allow us share your luck. So, David holds the circle, rules the roast, narrates the vision, peeps in the glass ball, sets to the spirit writing, hears the raps, as the case may be. Now mark, to be precise though I say, lies, all these, at this first stage, tea is just for science, sake. I call such grubs by the name of what they'll turn to, dragonflies. Strictly, it's what good people style untruth, but yet, so far, not quite the full-grown thing. It's fancying, fable-making, nonsense work what never meant to be so very bad, the knack of storytelling, brightening up each dull old bit of fact that drops its shine. One does see somewhat when one shuts one's eyes, if only spots and streaks. Tables do tip in the oddest way of themselves. And pens, good Lord, who knows if you drive them or they drive you? Tea is but a foot in the water and out again, not that duck under which decides your dive. Note this, for it's important. Listen why. I'll prove, you push on David till he dives and ends the shivering. Here's your circle, now. 2/3 of them, with heads like you there. Host, turn up their eyes, and cry, as you expect, Lord, who'd have thought it? But there's always one looks wise, compassionately smiles, submits, of your veracity no kind of doubt, but do you feel so certain of that, boys? Really, I wonder, I confess myself, more chary of my faith. That, galling, sir. What, he the investigator, he the sage, when all done? Then, you just have shut your eyes, opened your mouth, and gulped down David whole, you. Terrible were such catastrophe. So, evidence is redoubled, doubled again, and doubled besides. Once more, he heard, we heard, you and they heard, your mother and your wife, your children and the stranger in your gates. Did they or did they not? So much for him, the black sheep, guessed without the wedding garb, the doubting Thomas. Now, your time to crow. He's kind to think you such a fool. Sludge cheats? Leave you alone to take precautions. Straight the rest join chorus. Thomas stands abashed, sips silent some such beverage as this, considers if it be harder, shutting eyes and gulping David in good fellowship, than going elsewhere, getting, in exchange, with no egg-nog to lubricate the food, some just as tough a morsel. Over the way, holds Captain Sparks his court. Is it better there? Have not you hunting stories, scalping scenes, and Mexican war exploits to swallow plump if you be free o' the stove-side rocking chair, and trio of affable daughters? Doubt succumbs. Victory, all your circle, yours again. Out of the clubbing of submissive wits, David's performance rounds, each chink gets patched, every protrusion of a point, filed fine. All, fit to set a rolling round the world, and then return to David finally, lies 7 feet thick. About his first half-inch. Here, a choice Bertho the supernatural, poor David, pledged to. They employed no tool that laws exclaim at, save the devil's own, yet screwed him into henceforth gulling you to the top o' your bent, all out of 1/2 lie. You hold, if there, 1/2 or 100th part of a lie, that, his fault, his be the penalty. I dare say, prove firmer in his place? Find the courage, that first flurry over, that mild bit of romancing work at end, to interpose with, it gets serious, this, must stop here. Sir, I saw no ghost at all. Inform your friends I made. Well, fools of them, and found you ready-made. They lived in clover, these 3 weeks. Take it out in kicks of me. I doubt it. Ask your conscience. Let me know, 12 months hence, with how few embellishments they told almighty Boston of this passage of arms between us, your first taste o' the foil from Sludge who could not fence, sir. Sludge? Your boy. I lied, sir, there. I got up from my gorge on offal in the gutter, and preferred your canvasbacks. I took their carver's size, measured his modicum of intelligence, tickled him on the cockles of his heart with a raven feather, and next week found myself sweet and clean, dining daintily, dizened smart, set on a stool buttressed by Lada's knees, every soft smiler calling me her pet, encouraging my story to uncoil and creep out from its hole, inch after inch. How last night, I no sooner snug in bed, tucked up, just as they left me, than came raps. While a light whisked, shaped somewhat like a star? Well, like some sort of stars, ma'am. So we thought. And any voice? Not yet? Try hard, next time, if you can hear a voice. We think you may. At least, the Pennsylvanian mediums did. Oh, next time comes the voice. Just as we hoped. Are not the hopers proud now, pleased, profuse o' the natural acknowledgement? Of course. So, off we push, illy-o-yo, trim the boat, on we sweep with a cataract ahead, we, midway to the horseshoe. Stop, who can, the dance of bubbles gay. About our prow, experiences become worth waiting for, spirits now speak up, tell their inmost mind, and compliment the medium, properly, concern themselves about his Sunday coat, see rings on his hand with pleasure. Ask yourself how you, receive a course of treats like these. Why, take the quietest hack and stall him up, cram him with corn a month, then out with him among his mates on a bright April morn, with the turf to tread. See if you find or know a caper in him, if he bucks or bolts. Much more a youth whose fancies sprout as rank as toadstool clump from melon bed. Tea is soon. Sirrah, you spirit, come, go, fetch and carry, read, write, rap, rub a dub, and hang yourself. I'm spared. All further trouble. All, arranged. Your circle does my business. I may rave like an epileptic dervish in the books, foam, fling myself flat, rend my clothes to shreds, no matter. Lovers, friends and countrymen will lay down spiritual laws, read wrong things right by the rule o reverse. If Francis Verulam styles himself Bacon, spells the name beside with a Y and a K, says he drew breath in York, gave up the ghost in Wales when Cromwell reigned, as, sir, we somewhat fear he was apt to say, before I found the useful book that knows. Why, what harm, s done? The circle smiles apace, it was not Bacon. After all, you see, we understand. The trick, but natural, such spirits. Individuality is hard to put in evidence. They incline to jibe and jeer, these undeveloped sorts. You see, their world, much like a jail broke loose, while this of ours remains shut, bolted, barred, with a single window to it. Sludge, our friend, serves as this window, whether thin or thick, or stained or stainless. He's the medium pane, through which, to see us and be seen, they peep. They crowd each other, hustle for a chance, tread on their neighbors' kibes, play tricks enough. Does Bacon, tired of waiting, swerve aside? Up in his place jumps Barnum, I am your man, I'll answer you for Bacon. Try once more, or else it, what, medium. He, means, good, bad, indifferent, still the only means, spirits can speak by. He may misconceive, stutter and stammer. He, their sludge and drudge, take him or leave him. They must hold their peace, or else, put up with having knowledge strained, to half-expression through his ignorance. Suppose, the spirit Beethoven wants to shed, new music. He's brimful of. Why, he turns, the handle of this organ, grinds with sludge, and what he poured in at the mouth o' the mill, as a 33rd sonata, fancy now. Comes from the hopper as brand new sludge, not else, the shaker's hymn in G, with a natural F, or the stars and stripes set to consecutive fourths. Sir, where's the scrape you did not? Help me through, you that are wise? And for the fools, the folk who came to see, the guests, observe that word. Pray do you find guests criticize your wine, your furniture, your grammar, or your nose? Then, why your medium? What's the difference? Prove your Madeira red ink and gamboge, your sludge, a cheat then, somebody, goose for vaunting. Both as genuine. Guests, don't fear, they make a wry face, nor too much of that, and leave you in your glory. No, sometimes, they doubt and say as much. I doubt they do. And what's the consequence? Of course they doubt, you triumph, that explains the hitch at once. Doubt posed our medium, puddled his pure mind, he gave them back. They're rubbish. Pitch chaff in, could flour come out o' the honest mill? So, prompt applaud the faithful. Cases flock in point, how, when a mocker willed a medium, once, should name a spirit James whose name was George, James's cried the medium, T was the test of truth. In short, a hit proves much, a miss proves more. Does this convince? The better. Does it fail? Time for the double-shotted broadside, then the grand means, last resource. Look black and big. You style us idiots, therefore why stop short? Accomplices in rascality. This we hear, in our own house, from our invited guest, found brave enough to outrage a poor boy, exposed by our good faith. Have you been heard? Now, then, hear us. One man, not quite worth 12. You see a cheat? Here, some 12 see an ass. Excuse me if I calculate. Good day. Out slinks the skeptic, all the laughs explode. Sludge waves his hat in triumph. Or he don't. There's something in real truth. Explain who can. One casts a wistful eye at, like the horse who mopes beneath stuffed hay racks and won't munch because he spies a cornbag. Hang that truth, it spoils all dainties proffered in its place. They felt at times when, cockered, cosseted and coddled by the aforesaid company, bidden enjoy their bullying, never fear, but o'er their shoulders spit at the flying man, they felt a child. Only, a fractious child that, dandled soft by nurse, aunt, grandmother, who keep him from the kennel, sun and wind, good fun and wholesome mud, enjoined be sweet, and comely and superior, eyes askance the ragged sons o' the gutter at their game, fain would be down with them the thick o' the filth, making dirt pies, laughing free, speaking plain, and calling granny the grey old cat she is. They felt a spite, I say, at you, at them, huggings and humbug gnashed my teeth to mark a decent dog pass. It's too bad, I say, ruining a soul so. But what fixed, where may one stop? Nowhere. The cheating's nursed out of the lying, softly and surely spun to just your length, sir. I'd stop soon enough, but you're for progress. All old, nothing new? only the usual talking through the mouth, or writing by the hand. I own, I thought, this would develop, grow demonstrable, make doubt absurd, give figures we might see, flowers we might touch. There's no one doubts you, Sludge. You dream the dreams, you see the spiritual sights, the speeches come in your head, beyond dispute. Still, for the skeptic's sake, to stop all mouths, we want some outward manifestation. Well, the Pennsylvanians gain such. Why not Sludge? He may improve with time. Aye, that he may. He sees his lot. There's no avoiding fate. Tea is a trifle at first. David, did you hear? You jogged the table. Your foot caused the squeak, this time. You're joking, are you not, my boy? No. And I am done for, bought and sold henceforth. The old good easy jog trot way, the not so very false, as falsehood goes, the spinning out and drawing fine, you know, really mere novel writing of a sort, acting, or improvising, make-believe, surely not downright cheatery, any. How, tea is done with and my lot cast. Cheats my name. The fatal dash of brandy in your tea has settled what you'll have the souchong's smack. The caddy gives way to the drain bottle. Then, it's so cruel easy. Oh, those tricks that can't be tricks, those feats by sleight of hand, clearly no common conjurers. No indeed, a conjurer? Choose me any. Craft the world a man puts hand to, and with 6 months' pains I'll play you 20 tricks miraculous to people untaught the trade. Have you seen glass blown, pipes pierced? Why, just this biscuit that I chip. Did you ever watch a baker toss one flat to the oven? Try and do it, take my word, practice but half as much, while limbs are lithe, too. Turn, shove, tilt a table, crack your joints, manage your feet, dispose your hands aright, work wires that twitch the curtains, play the glove at endo your slipper, then put out the lights and there, all you want you, get, I hope. I found it slip, easy as an old shoe. Now, lights on table again. I've done my part, you take my place. While I give thanks and rest. Well, Judge Humgruffin, what's your verdict, sir? You, hardest head in the United States, did you detect a cheat here? Wait, let's see, just an experiment first, for candor's sake. I'll try and cheat you, Judge. The table tilts, is it I that move it? Right, I'll press your hand. Cry when I push, or guide your pencil, Judge. Sludge still triumphant. That a rap, indeed? That, the real writing? Very like a whale. Then, if, sir, you a most distinguished man, and, were the judge not here, I'd say. No matter. Well, sir, if you fail, you can't take us in, there's little fear that Sludge will. Won't he, ma'am? But what if our distinguished host, like Sludge, bade God bear witness that he played no trick, while you believed that what produced the raps was just a certain child who died, you know, and whose last breath you thought your lips had felt? That's a capital point, ma'am. Sludge begins at your entreaty with your dearest dead, the little voice set lisping once again, the tiny hand made feel for yours once more, the poor lost image brought back, plain as dreams, which image, if a word had chanced recall, the customary cloud would cross your eyes, your heart return the old tick, pay its pang. A right mood for investigation, this. One's at one's ease with Saul and Jonathan, Pompey and Caesar, but one's own lost child. I wonder, when you heard the first clod drop from the spadeful at the graveside, felt you free to investigate who twitched your funeral scarf or brushed your flounces? Then, it came of course you should be stunned and stupid. Then, how else? Your breath stopped with your blood, your brain struck work. But now, such causes fail of such effects, all changed. The little voice begins afresh, yet, you, calm, consequent, contest and try and touch the truth. Tests? Didn't the creature tell its nurse's name, and say it lived 6 years, and rode a rocking horse? Enough of tests. Sludge never could learn that. He could not, You compliment him. Could not? Speak for yourself. I'd like to know the man I ever saw once, never mind where, how, why, when, once saw, of whom I do not keep some matter in mind swear I could not know, sagacious soul. What, do you live in this world's blow of blacks, palaver, gossipry, a single hour nor find one smut has settled on your nose, of a smut's worth, no more, no less? One fact out of the drift of facts, whereby you learn what someone was, somewhere, somewhen, somewhy. You don't tell folk. See what has stuck to me. Judge Humgruffin, our most distinguished man, your uncle was a tailor, and your wife, thought to have married Miggs, missed him, hit you. Do you, sir, though you see him twice a week? No, you reply, what use retailing it? Why should I? But, you see, one day you should, because one day there's much use, when this fact brings you the judge upon both gouty knees before the supernatural. Proves that Sludge knows, as you say, a thing he could not know. Will not Sludge thenceforth keep an outstretched face the way the wind drives? Could not. Look you, now, I'll tell you a story. There's a whiskered chap, a foreigner, that teaches music here and gets his bread, knowing no better way. He says, the fellow who informed of him and made him fly his country and fall west was a hunchback cobbler, sat, stitched soles and sang, in some outlandish place, the city Rome, in a cellar by their Broadway, all day long. Never asked questions, stopped to listen or look, nor lifted nose from lapstone. Let the world roll round his three-legged stool, and news run in the ears he hardly seemed to keep pricked up. Well, that man went on Sundays, touched his pay, and took his praise from government, you see. For something like $2 every week, he'd engage. Tell you some one little thing of some one man, which led to many more, because one truth leads right to the world's end. And make you that man's master when he dined and on what dish, where walked to keep his health and to what street. His trade was, throwing thus his sense out, like an anteater's long tongue, soft, innocent, warm, moist, impassable, and when tea was crusted o'er with creatures slick, their juice enriched his palate. Could not Sludge, I'll go yet a step further, and maintain, once the imposture plunged its proper depth the rotten of your natures, all of you, if one's not mad nor drunk, and hardly then. It's impossible to cheat that, be found out. Go tell your brotherhood this first slip of mine, all today's tale, how you detected Sludge, behaved unpleasantly, till he was fain confess, and so has come to grief. You'll find, I think, why Sludge still snaps his fingers in your face. There now, you've told them. What's their prompt reply? Sir, did that youth confess he had cheated me, I'd disbelieve him. He may cheat at times. That's in the medium nature, thus they're made, vain and vindictive, cowards, prone to scratch, and so all cats are. Still, a cat's the beast. You coax the strange electric sparks from out, by rubbing back its fur. Not so a dog, nor lion, nor lamb. Is the cat's nature, sir. Why not the dog's? Ask God, who made them beasts. Ye think the sound, the nicely balanced man, like me, aside, like you yourself, aloud. He's stuff to make a medium. Bless your soul, is these hysteric, hybrid half and halves, equivocal, worthless vermin yield the fire. We take such as we find them, wear their tricks, wanting their service. Sir, Sludge took in you, how, I can't say, not. Being there to watch, he was tried, was tempted by your easiness, he did not take in me. Thank you for Sludge, I am to be grateful to such patrons, when what you hear's my best word. Is a challenge, snap at all strangers, half-tamed prairie dog, so you cower duly at your keeper's beck. Cat, show what claws were made for, muffling them, only to me. Cheat others if you can, me, if you dare. And, my wise sir, I did cheat you first, made you cheat others next, and had the help o' your vaunted manliness to bully the incredulous. You used me? Have not I used you, taken full revenge, persuaded folk they knew not their own name, and straight they'd own the error? Who was the fool when, to an awe-struck wide-eyed open-mouthed circle of sages, Sludge would introduce Milton composing baby rhymes, and Locke reasoning in gibberish, Homer writing Greek in knots and crosses, Asaph setting psalms to crotchet and quaver? They made a spirit squeak in sham voice for a minute, then outbroke bold in my own, defying the imbeciles have copied some ghost's pothooks, half a page, then ended with my own scrawl undisguised. All right, the ghost was merely using Sludge, suiting itself from his imperfect stock. Don't talk of gratitude to me. For what? For being treated as a showman's ape, encouraged to be wicked and make sport, fret or sulk, grin or whimper, any mood so long as the ape be in it and no man because a nut pays every mood alike. Curse your superior, superintending sort, who, since you hate smoke, send up boys that climb to cure your chimney, bid a medium lie to sweep you truth down. Curse your women too, your insolent wives and daughters, that fire up or faint away if a male hand squeeze. Theirs, yet, to encourage Sludge, may play with Sludge is only a medium, only the kind of thing they must humor, fondle. Oh, to misconceive were too preposterous. But I've paid them out. They had their wish called for the naked truth, and in she tripped, sat down and bade them stare. They had to blush a little and forgive. The fact is, children talk so. In next world, all our conventions are reversed, perhaps, made light of. Something like Old Prince, my dear. The judge has one, he brought from Italy, a metropolis in the background, or a bridge, a team of trotting roadsters, cheerful groups, of wayside travelers, peasants at their work, and, full in front, quite unconcerned. Why not? 3 nymphs conversing with a cavalier, and never a rag among them. Fine, folk cry, and heavenly manners seem not much unlike. Let Sludge go on. We fancy it, in print. If such as came for wool, sir, went home shorn, where is the wrong I did them? Tea was their choice. They tried the adventure, ran the risk, tossed up and lost, as someone's sure to do in games. They fancied I was made to lose, smoked glass useful to spy the sun through, spare their eyes, and had I proved a red-hot iron plate they thought to pierce, and, for their pains, grew blind, whose were the fault but theirs? While, as things go, their loss amounts to gain, the more, the shame. They've had their peep into the spirit world, and all this world may know it. They've fed fat their self-conceit which else had starved. What chance save this, of cackling o'er a golden egg encompassing distinction from the flock, friends of a feather? Well, they paid for it, and not prodigiously. The price o' the play, not counting certain pleasant interludes, was scarce a vulgar play's worth. When you buy the actor's talent, do you dare propose for his soul beside? Whereas my soul you buy. Sludge acts Macbeth, obliged to be Macbeth, or you'll not hear his first word. Just go through that slight formality, swear himself the Thane, and thenceforth he may strut and fret his hour, spout, spall, or spin his target. No one cares. Why hadn't I leave to play tricks? Sludge is sludge. Enough of it all. I've wiped out scores with you, vented your fustian. Let myself be streaked like tone fool with your ochre and carmine. Worn patchwork your respectable fingers sewed to metamorphose somebody. Yes, I've earned my wages, swallowed down my bread of shame, and shake the crumbs off where but in your face. As for religion, why, I served it, sir. I'll stick to that. With my phenomena I laid the atheist sprawling on his back, propped up St. Paul, or, at least, Swedenborg. In fact, it's just the proper way to balk these troublesome fellows. Liars, one and all, are not these skeptics? Well, to baffle them, no use in being squeamish. Lie yourself. Erect your buttress just as wide o' the line, your side, as they build up the wall on theirs. Where both meet, midway in a point, is truth high overhead. So, take your room, pile bricks, lie. Oh, there's titillation in all shame. What snow may lose in white, snow gains in rose. Miss Stokes turns Rahab, nor a bad exchange. Glory be on her, for the good she wrought, breeding belief anew, 'neath ribs of death, browbeating now the unabashed before, ridding us of their whole life's gathered straws by a live coal from the altar. Why, of old, great men spent years and years in writing books to prove they souls, and hardly proved it then. Miss Stokes with her live coal, for you and me, surely, to this good issue, all was fair. Not only fondling Sludge, but, even suppose he let escape some spice of knavery, well, in wisely being blind to it. Don't you praise Nelson for setting spyglass to blind eye any saying? What was it that he could not see the signal he was bothered with? I, indeed, go beyond. Their essay. Real love of a lie, liars find ready-made for lies they make, as hand for glove, or tongue for sugar plum. At best, tea is never pure and full belief. Those furthest in the quagmire, don't suppose they strayed there with no warning, got no chance of a filth speck in their face, which they clenched teeth, bent brow against. Be sure they had their doubts, and fears, and fairest challenges to try the floor o' the seeming solid sand. But no, their faith was pledged, acquaintance too apprised, all but the last step ventured, kerchiefs waved, and Sludge called, pet, tea was easier. Marching on to the promised land join those who, Thursday next, meant to meet Shakespeare. Better follow. Sludge prudent, oh sure. On the alert, how else? But making for the mid-bog, all the same. To hear your outcries, one would think I caught Miss Stokes by the scruff o' the neck, and pitched her flat, foolish face foremost. Hear these simpletons, that's all I beg, before my work's begun, before I touch them with my fingertip. Thus they await me. Do but listen, now. It's reasoning, this is. I can't imitate the baby voice, though. In so many tales, must be some truth, truth though a pinpoint big, yet, some. A single man,'s deceived, perhaps, hardly, 1,000. To suppose one cheat, can gull all these, were more miraculous far, than aught we should confess a miracle, and so on. Then, the judge sums up, it's rare. Bids you respect the authorities that leap to the judgment seat at once. Why don't you note the limpid nature, the unblemished life, the spotless honor, indisputable sense of the first upstart with his story? What outrage a boy on whom you ne'er till now set eyes, because he finds raps trouble him? Fools, these are. Aye, and how of their opposites who never did, at bottom of their hearts, believe for a moment? Men emasculate, blank of belief, who played, as eunuchs use, with superstitions safely, cold of blood, who saw what made for them the mystery, took their occasion, and supported Sludge as proselytes? No, thank you, far too shrewd. But promisers of fair play, encouragers the claimant, who in candor needs must hoist Sludge up on Mars Hill, get speech out of Sludge to carry off, criticize, and cant about. Didn't Athens treat St. Paul so? At any rate, it's a new thing, philosophy fumbles at. Then there's the other picker out of pearl from dung heaps, your literary man, who draws on his kid gloves to deal with Sludge daintily and discreetly, shakes a dust o' the doctrine, flavors thence, he well knows how, the narrative or the novel, half believes, all for the book's sake, and the public's stare, and the cash that's God's sole solid in this world. Look at him, try to be too bold, too gross for the master. Not you, he's the man for muck. Shovel it forth, full splash, he'll smooth your brown into artistic richness, never fear. Find him the crude stuff. When you recognize your lie again, you'll doff your hat to it, dressed out for company. For company, I say, since there's the relish of success, let all pay due respect, call the lie truth, save the soft silent smirking. Gentleman who ushered in the stranger, you must sigh, how melancholy, he, the only one, fails to perceive the bearing of the truth, himself gave birth to. There's the triumph's smack. That man would choose to see the whole world roll the slime o' the slough, so he might touch the tip of his brush with what I call the best of Brown's tint. Ghost tales, spirit stories, past the power of the outworn umber and bestray. Yet I think there's a more hateful form of foolery the social sages, Solomon of saloons and philosophic diner out, the fribble who wants a doctrine for a chopping block to try the edge of his faculty upon, prove how much common sense he'll hack and hew the critical minute, twixt the soup and fish. These were my patrons, these, and the like of them who, rising in my soul now, sicken it, these I have injured. Gratitude to these? The gratitude, forsooth, of a prostitute to the greenhorn and the bully friends of hers, from the wag that wants the queer jokes for his club, to the snuff-box decorator, honest man, who just was at his wit's end where to find so genial a Pacific. All in each pay, compliment, protect from the police, and how she hates them for their pains, like me. So much for my remorse at thanklessness toward a deserving public. But, for God? That's a question. Well, sir, since you press, how you do tease the whole thing out of me. I don't mean you know, when I say, them, hate you, indeed. But that Miss Stokes, that judge. Enough with sugar. Thank you, sir. Now for it, then. Will you believe me, though? You've heard what I confess. I don't unsay a single word. I cheated when I could, rapped with my toe joints, set sham hands at work, wrote down names. Weak and sympathetic ink, rubbed ODIC lights with ends of phosphor match, and all the rest. Believe that. Believe this, by the same token, though it seemed to set the crooked straight again, unsay the said, stick up what they knocked down. I can't help that it's truth. I somehow vomit truth today. This trade of mine I don't know, can't be sure, but there was something in it, tricks and all. Really, I want to light up my own mind. They were tricks, true, but what I mean to add is also true. First, don't it strike you, sir? Go back to the beginning. The first fact we re-taught is, there's a world beside this world, with spirits, not mankind, for tenantry. That much within that world once sojourned here, that all upon this world will visit there, and therefore that we, bodily here below, must have exactly such an interest in learning what may be the ways o' the world above us, as the disembodied folk have, by all analogic likelihood. In watching how things go in the old home with us, their sons, successors, and what not. Oh yes, with Added powers probably, fit for the novel state, old loves grown pure, old interests understood aright, they watch. Eyes to see, ears to hear, and hands to help, proportionate to advancement. They, ahead, that's all do what we do, but noblier done use plate, whereas we eat our meals off delf, to use a figure. Concede that, and I ask next. What may be the mode of intercourse between us men here, and those once men there? First comes the Bible's speech. Then, history with the supernatural element. You know all that we sucked in with our mother's milk, grew up with, got inside of us at last, till it's found bone of bone and flesh of flesh. See now, we start with the miraculous, and know. It used to be, at all events. What's the first step we take, and can't but take, in arguing from the known to the obscure? Why this. What was before, may be today. Since Samuel's ghost appeared to Saul, of course, my brother's spirit may appear to me. Go tell your teacher that. What's his reply? What brings a shade of doubt for the first time o'er his brow late so luminous with faith? Such things have been, says he, and there's no doubt, such things may be, but I advise mistrust, of eyes, ears, stomach, and, more than all, your brain, unless it be of your great-grandmother, whenever they propose a ghost to you. The end is, there's a composition struck. Tea is settled, we've some way of intercourse just as in Saul's time, only, different. How, when and where, precisely, find it out. I want to know, then, what's so natural as that a person born into this world and seized on by such teaching, should begin with firm expectancy and a frank lookout for his own allotment, his especial share the secret, his particular ghost, in fine? I mean, a person born to look that way, since natures differ. Take the painter sort, one man lives 50 years in ignorance whether grass be green or red, no kind of eye, for color, say you. While another picks and puts away even pebbles, when a child, because of bluish spots and pinky veins, give him forthwith a paint box. Just the same was I born. Medium. You won't let me say, well, seer of the supernatural every when, every how and everywhere, will that do? I and all such boys of course started with the same stock of Bible truth. Only, what in the rest you style their sense, instinct, blind reasoning but imperative, this, betimes, taught them the old world. Had one law and ours another. New world, new laws, cried they. None but old laws, seen everywhere at work, cried I, and by their help explained my life the Jew's way, still a working way to me. Ghosts made the noises, fairies waved the lights, or Santa Claus slid down on New Year's Eve and stuffed with cakes the stocking at my bed, changed the worn shoes, rubbed clean the fingered slate the sum that came to grief the day before. This could not last long. Soon enough I found who had worked wonders thus, and to what end. But did I find all easy, like my mates? Henceforth no supernatural any more? Not a whit. What projects the billiard balls? A cue, you answer. Yes, a cue, said I. But what hand, off the cushion, moved the cue? What unseen agency, outside the world, prompted its puppets to do this and that, put cakes and shoes and slates into their mind, these mothers and aunts, nay even schoolmasters? Thus high I sprang, and there have settled since. Just so I reason, in sober earnest still, about the greater godsends, what you call the serious gains and losses of my life. What do I know or care about your world which either is or seems to be? This snap my fingers, sir. My care is for myself. Myself am whole and sole reality inside a rarey show and a market mob gathered about it. That's the use of things. Tea is easy saying they serve vast purposes, advantage their grand selves, be it true or false, each thing may have two uses. What, a star? A world, or a world's sun? Doesn't it serve as taper also, timepiece, weatherglass, and almanac? Are stars not set for signs when we should shear our sheep, sow corn, prune trees? The Bible says so. Well, I add one use to all the acknowledged uses, and declare if I spy Charles's wain at 12 tonight, it warns me, go, nor lose another day, and have your hair cut, Sludge. You laugh. And why? Were such a sign too hard for God to give? No. But Sludge seems too little for such grace. Thank you, sir. So you think, so does not Sludge. When you and good men gape at Providence, go into history and bid us mark not merely powder plots prevented, crowns kept on kings' heads by miracle enough, but private mercies you've told me, sir, of such interpositions. How yourself once, missing on a memorable day your handkerchief just setting out, you know, you must return to fetch it, lost the train, and saved your precious self from what befell the 33 whom Providence forgot. You tell, and ask me what I think of this. Well, sir, I think then, since you needs must know, what matter had you and Boston City to boot sailed skyward, like burnt onion peelings? Much to you, no doubt. For me undoubtedly the cutting of my hair concerns me more, because, however sad the truth may seem, Sludge is of all importance to himself. You set apart that day and every year for special thanksgiving, were a heathen else. Well, I cannot boast the like escape, suppose I said, I don't thank Providence, for my part, owing it no gratitude. Nay, but you owe as much, you'd tutor me, you, every man alive, for blessings gained in every hour o' the day, could you but know. I saw my crowning mercy. All have such, could they but see. Well, sir, why don't they see? Because they won't look, or perhaps, they can't. Then, sir, suppose I can, and will, and do look, microscopically as is right, into each hour with its infinitude of influences at work to profit Sludge? For that's the case. I've sharpened up my sight to spy a providence in the fires going out, the kettles boiling, the dimes sticking fast despite the hole the pocket. Call such facts fancies, too petty a work for Providence, and those same thanks which you exact from me prove too prodigious payment. Thanks for what, if nothing? Guards and guides us little men? No, no, sir. You must put away your pride, resolve to let Sludge into partnership. I live by signs and omens. Looked at the roof where the pigeons settle, if the further bird, the white, takes wing first, I'll confess when thrashed. Not, if the blue does, so I said to myself last week, lest you should take me by surprise. Off flapped the white, and I am confessing, sir. Perhaps, 'tis Providence's whim and way with only me, I, the world. How can you tell? Because unlikely, was it likelier, now, that this our one out of all worlds beside, the what do you call 'em millions, should be just precisely chosen to make Adam for, and the rest o' the tale? Yet the tale,'s true, you know. Such undeserving clod was graced so once. Why not graced likewise undeserving Sludge? Are we merit mongers, flaunt we filthy rags? All you can bring against my privilege is, that another way was taken with you, which I don't question. It's pure grace, my luck. I am broken to the way of nods and winks, and need no formal summoning. You, vaya help. Hollow a his name or whistle, clap your hands, stamp with your foot or pull the bell. All S1, he understands you want him, here he comes. Just so, I come at the knocking. You, sir, wait the tongue o' the bell, nor stir before you catch reason's clear tingle, nature's clapper brisk, or that traditional peal was wont to cheer your mother's face turned heavenward. Short of these there's no authentic intimation, eh? Well, when you hear, you, answer them, start up and stride into the presence, top of toe, and there find Sludge beforehand, Sludge that sprang at noise o' the knuckle on the partition wall. I think myself the more religious man. Religion, all are nothing. It's no mere smile o' contentment, sigh of aspiration, sir, no quality o' the finely or tempered clay like its whiteness or its lightness. Rather, stuff o' the very stuff, life of life, and self of self. I tell you, men won't notice. When they do, they understand. I notice nothing else. I am eyes, ears, mouth of me, one gaze and gape, nothing eludes me. Everything, a hint, handle and help. It's all absurd, and yet there's something in it all, I know. How much? No answer. What does that prove? Man's still man. Still meant for a poor blundering piece of work when all's done. But, if somewhat's done, like this, or not done, is the case the same. Suppose I blunder in my guess at the true sense o' the knuckle summons, 9 times out of 10, what if the 10th guess happen to be right? If the 10th shovel load of powdered quartz yield me the nugget? I gather, crush, sift all, pass o'er the failure, pounce on the success. To give you a notion, now, let who wins, laugh. When first I see a man, what do I first? Why, count the letters which make up his name, and as their number chances, even or odd, arrive at my conclusion, trim my course. Hiram H. Horsefall is your honored name, and haven't I found a patron, sir, in you? Shall I cheat this stranger? I take apple pips, stick one in either canthus of my eye, and if the left drops first, your left, sir. Stuck. I am warned, I let the trick alone this time. Yon, sir, who smile, superior to such trash, you judge of character by other rules. Don't your rules sometimes fail you? Pray, what rule have you judged Sludge by hitherto? Oh, be sure. Everybody blunders, just as I, in simpler things than these by far. For see, I knew 2 farmers. One, a wiseacre who studied seasons, rummaged almanacs, quoted the dew point, registered the frost, and then declared, for outcome of his pains, next summer must be dampish. Tea was a drought. His neighbor prophesied such drought would fall, saved hay and corn, made cent per cent thereby, and proved a sage indeed. How came his lore? Because one brindled heifer, late in March, stiffened her tail of evenings, and somehow he got into his head that drought was meant. I don't expect all men can do as much, such kissing goes by favor. You must take a certain turn of mind for this, a twist the flesh, as well. Be lazily alive, open-mouthed, like my friend the anteater, letting all nature's loosely guarded motes settle in, slick, be swallowed. Think yourself the one the world, the one for whom the world was made, expect it tickling at your mouth. Then will the swarm of busy buzzing flies, clouds of coincidence, break eggshell, thrive, breed, multiply, and bring you food enough. I can't pretend to mind your smiling, sir. Oh, what you mean is this, such intimate way, close converse, frank exchange of offices, strict sympathy of the immeasurably great with the infinitely small, betokened here by a course of signs and omens, raps and sparks. Flow does it suit the dread traditional text? Oh, the great and terrible name. Shall the heaven of heavens stoop to such child's play? Please, sir, go with me a moment, and I'll try to answer you. The magnum et terrible, is that right? Well, folk began with this in the early day, and all the acts they recognized in proof were thunders, lightnings, earthquakes, whirlwinds, dealt indisputably on men whose death they caused. There, and there only, folk saw Providence at work, and seeing it, tea was right enough all heads should tremble, hands wring hands amain, and knees knock hard together at the breath o' the name's first letter. Why, the Jews, I'm told, won't write it down, no, to this very hour, nor speak aloud. You know best if tea be so. Each ague fit of fear at end, they crept, because somehow people once born must live, out of the sound, sight, swing and sway o' the name, into a corner, the dark rest of the world, and safe space where as yet no fear had reached. Tea was there. They looked about them, breathed again, and felt indeed at home, as we might say. The current o' common things, the daily life, this had their due contempt, no name. Pursued man from the mountain top where fires abide, to his particular mouse hole at its foot where he ate, drank, digested, lived in short. Such was man's vulgar business, far too small to be worth thunder. Small, folk kept on, small, with much complacency in those great days. A mote of sand, you know, a blade of grass, what was so despicable as mere grass, except perhaps the life o' the worm or fly which fed there. These were small, and men were great. Well, sir, the old ways altered somewhat since, and the world wears another aspect now. Somebody turns our spyglass round, or else puts a new lens in it. Grass, worm, fly grow big. We find great things are made of little things, and little things go lessening till at last comes God behind them. Talk of mountains now? We talk of mold that heaps the mountain, mites that throng the mold, and God that makes the mites. The name comes close behind a stomach cyst, the simplest of creations, just a sac that's mouth, heart, legs and belly at once, yet lives and feels, and could do neither. We conclude, if simplified still further one degree, the small becomes the dreadful and immense lightning, forsooth? No word more upon that. A tin foil bottle, a strip of greasy silk, with a bit of wire and knob of brass, and there's your dollar's worth of lightning. But the cyst the life of the least of the little things? No, no, preachers and teachers try another tack, come near the truth this time. They put aside thunder and lightning. That's mistake, they cry, thunderbolts fall for neither fright nor sport, but do appreciable good, like tides, changes o' the wind, and other natural facts, good, meaning good to man, his body or soul. Mediate, immediate, all things minister, to man, that's settled. Be our future text, we are his children. So, they now harangue about the intention, the contrivance, all that keeps up an incessant play of love, see the Bridgewater book. Amen to it. Well, sir, I put this question. I am a child? I lose no time, but take you at your word. How shall I act a child's part properly? Your sainted mother, sir, used you to live with such a thought as this, worrying you? She has it in her power to throttle me, or stab or poison. she may turn me out, or lock me in, nor stop at this today, but cut me off tomorrow from the estate I look for. Long may you enjoy it, sir. In brief, she may unchild the child I am. You never had such crotchets? Nor have I. Who, frank confessing childship from the first, cannot both fear and take my ease at once. So, don't fear, know what might be, well enough, but know too, childlike, that it will not be, at least in my case, mine, the son and heir o' the kingdom, as yourself proclaim my style. But do you fancy I stop short at this? Wonder, if suit and service, son and heir needs must expect, I dare pretend to find? If, looking for signs proper to such an one, I straight perceive them irresistible? Concede that homage is a son's plain right, and, never mind the nods and raps and winks, T is the pure obvious supernatural steps forward, does its duty. Why, of course. I have presentiments. My dreams come true. I fancy a friend stands whistling all in white blithe as a bobolink, and he's dead I learn. I take dislike to a dog my favorite long, and sell him. He goes mad next week and snaps. I guess that stranger will turn up today I have not seen these 3 years. There's his knock I wager, 60 peaches on that tree. That I pick up $1 in my walk, that your wife's brother's cousin's name was George and win on all points. Oh, you wince at this? You'd fain distinguish between gift and gift, Washington's oracle and Sludge's itch o' the elbow when at whist he ought to trump? With Sludge it's too absurd? Fine, draw the line somewhere, but, sir, your somewhere is not mine. Bless us, I'm turning poet. It's time to end. How you have drawn me out, sir. All I ask is, am I heir or not heir? If I'm he, then, sir, remember, that same personage, to judge by what we read the newspaper, requires, beside one nobleman in gold to carry up and down his coronet, another servant, probably a duke, to hold eggnog in readiness. Why want attendance, sir, when helps in his father's house abound? I'd like to know? Enough of talk. My fault is that I tell too plain a truth. Why, which of those who say they disbelieve, you're clever people, but has dreamed his dream, caught his coincidence, stumbled on his fact he can't explain, he'll tell you smilingly, which he's too much a philosopher to count as supernatural, indeed, so calls a puzzle and problem, proud of it, bidding you still be on your guard, you know, because one fact don't make a system stand, nor prove this an occasional escape of spirit beneath the matter. That's the way. Just so wild Indians picked up, piece by piece, the fact in California, the fine gold that underlay the gravel, hoarded these, but never made a system stand, nor dug. So wise men hold out in each hollowed palm a handful of experience, sparkling fact they can't explain, and since their rest of life is all explainable, what proof in this? Whereas I take the fact, the grain of gold, and fling away the dirty rest of life, and add this grain to the grain each fool has found the million other such philosophers, till I see gold, all gold and only gold, truth questionless though unexplainable, and the miraculous proved the commonplace. The other fools believed in mud, no doubt failed to know gold they saw. Was that so strange? Are all men born to play box fiddlefugues, time, with the foil in cart, jump their own height, cut the mutton with the broadsword, skate a 5, make the red hazard with the cue, clip nails while swimming, in 5 minutes row a mile, pull themselves 3 feet up with the left arm, do sums of 50 figures in their head, and so on, by the scores of instances? The sludge with luck, who sees the spiritual facts his fellows strive and fail to see, may rank with these, and share the advantage. Aye, but share the drawback. Think it over by yourself. I have not heart, sir, and the fire's gone grey. Defect somewhere compensates for success, everyone knows that. Oh, we're equals, sir. The big-legged fellow has a little arm and a less brain, though big legs win the race. Do you suppose I 'scaped the common lot? Say, I was born with flesh so sensitive, soul so alert, that, practice helping both, I guess what's going on outside the veil, just as a prisoned crane feels pairing time in the islands where his kind are, so must fall too. Capering by himself some shiny night, as if your backyard were a plot of spice, thus am I, where the spirit world. While you, blind as a beetle that way, for amends. Why, you can double fist and floor me, sir. Ride that hot hard-mouthed horrid horse of yours, laugh while it lightens, play with the great dog, speak your mind though it vex some friend to hear, never brag, never bluster, never blush, in short, you've pluck, when I'm a coward there. I know it, I can't help it, folly or no, I am paralyzed, my hand's no more a hand, nor my head ahead, in danger. You can smile and change the pipe in your cheek. Your gift, not mine. Would you swap for mine? No. But you'd add my gift to yours, I dare say. I too sigh at times, wish I were stouter, could tell truth nor flinch, kept cool when threatened, did not mind so much being dressed gaily, making strangers stare, eating nice things. When I amuse myself, I shut my eyes and fancy in my brain I am now the president, now Jenny Lind, now Emerson, now the Benicia boy with all the civilized world. A wondering and worshipping. I know it, folly and worse. I feel such tricks sap, honeycomb the soul, but I can't cure myself. Despond, despair, and then, hey, presto, there, turn the wheel, under comes uppermost. Fate makes full amends. Sludge knows and sees and bears 100 things you all are blind to. I veigh my taste of truth, likewise. My touch of falsehood, vice no doubt, but you veigh your vices also. I am content. What, sir, you won't shake hands? Because I cheat. You found me out in cheating. That's enough to make an apostle swear. Why, when I cheat, mean to cheat, do cheat, and am caught in the act, are you, or, rather, am I sure o' the fact? There's verse again, but I am inspired somehow. Well then I am not sure. I may be, perhaps, free as a babe from cheating. How it began, my gift, no matter. What has got to be in the end now? That's the question. Answer that. Had I seen, perhaps, what hand was holding mine, leading me whither, I had died of fright. So, I was made believe I led myself. If I should lay a 6-inch plank from roof to roof, you would not cross the street, one step, even at your mother's summons, but, being shrewd if I paste paper on each side the plank and swear, is solid pavement, why, you, cross humming a tune the while, in ignorance Beacon Street stretches 100 feet below. I walked thus, took the paper cheat for stone. Some impulse made me set a thing the move which, started once, ran really by itself. Beer flows thus, suck the siphon. Toss the kite, it takes the wind and floats of its own force. Don't let truth's lump rot stagnant for the lack of a timely helpful lie to leaven it. Put a chalk egg beneath the clucking hen, she lay a real one, laudably deceived, daily for weeks to come. They told my lie, and seen truth follow, marvels none of mine. All was not cheating, sir, I am positive. I don't know if I move your hand sometimes when the spontaneous writing spreads so far, if my knee lifts the table all that height, why the inkstand don't fall off the desk a tilt, why the accordion plays a prettier waltz than I can pick out on the piano forte, why I speak so much more than I intend, describe so many things I never saw. I tell you, sir, in one sense, I believe nothing at all, that everybody can, will, and does cheat. But in another sense I'm ready to believe my very self that every cheat's inspired, and every lie quick with a germ of truth. You ask perhaps why I should condescend to trick at all if I know a way without it? This is why. There's a strange secret sweet self-sacrifice in any desecration of one's soul to a worthy end, isn't it Herodotus? I wish I could read Latin. Who describes the single gift o' the land's virginity, demanded in those old Egyptian rites. I've but a hazy notion help me, sir. For one purpose in the world, one day in a life, 1 hour in a day thereafter, purity, and a veil thrown o'er the past forevermore. Well, now, they understood a many things down by Nile City, or wherever it was. I've always vowed, after the minutes lie, and the ends gain, truth should be mine. Henceforth, this goes to the root o' the matter, sir, this plain plump fact. Accept it and unlock with it the wards of many a puzzle. Or, finally, why should I set so fine a gloss on things? What need I care? I cheat in self-defense, and there's my answer to a world of cheats. Cheat, to be sure, sir. What's the world worth else? Who takes it as he finds, and thanks his stars? Don't it want trimming, turning, furbishing up and polishing over? Your so-styled great men, do they accept one truth as truth is found, or try their skill at tinkering? What's your world? Here are you born, who are, I'll say at once, of the luckiest kind, whether in head and heart, body and soul, or all that helps them both. Well, now, look back. What faculty of yours came to its full, had ample justice done by growing when rain fell, biding its time, solidifying growth when earth was dead, spurring up, broadening wide, in seasons due? Never. You shot up and frost nipped you off, settled to sleep when sunshine bade you sprout, one faculty thwarted its fellow. At the end, all you boast as I had proved a topping tree in other climes, yet this was the right clime had you foreknown the seasons. Young, you force wasted like well streams. Old, oh, then indeed, behold a labyrinth of hydraulic pipes through which you'd play off wondrous waterwork. Only, no water, left to feed their play. Young, you, vea. Hope, an aim, a love. It's tossed and crossed and lost. You struggle on, some spark shut in your heart against the puffs around, through cold and pain. These in due time subside, now then for age's triumph, the hoarded light you mean to loose on the altered face of things, up with it on the tripod. It's extinct. Spend your life's remnant asking, which was best, light smothered up that never peeped forth once, or the cold cresset with full leave to shine? Well, accept this too, seek the fruit of it not in enjoyment, proved a dream on earth, but knowledge, useful for a second chance, another life. You, they lost this world, you, they gained its knowledge for the next. What knowledge, sir, except that you know nothing? Nay, you doubt whether were better have made you man or brute, if aught be true, if good and evil clash. No foul, no fair, no inside, no outside, there's your world. Give it me, I slap it brisk with Harlequin's pasteboard scepter. What's it now? Changed like a rock flat, rough with rusty weed, at first wash over the returning wave, all the dry dead impracticable stuff starts into life and light again. This world pervaded by the influx from the next. I cheat, and what's the happy consequence? You find full justice straightway dealt you out, each want supplied, each ignorance set at ease, each folly fooled. No lifelong labor now is the price of worse than nothing, no mere film holding you chained in iron, as it seems, against the outstretch of your very arms and legs. The sunshine moralists forbid. What would you have? Just speakin', there, you see. You, re-supplemented, made a hole at last, Bacon advises, Shakespeare writes you songs, and Mary Queen of Scots embraces you. Thus it goes on, not quite like life perhaps, but so near, that the very difference piquets, shows that e'en better than this best will be this passing entertainment in a hut whose bare walls take your taste since, one stage more, and you arrive at the palace. All half real, and you, to suit it, less than real beside, in a dream, lethargic kind of death in life, that helps the interchange of natures, flesh transfused by souls, and such souls. Oh, is choice. And if it whiles the bubble, blown too thin, seem nigh on bursting, if you nearly see the real world through the false, what do you see? Is the old so ruined? You find you, in a flock the youthful, earnest, passionate genius, beauty, rank and wealth also. If you care for these, and all depose their natural rights, hail you, that's me, sir, as their mate and yokefellow, participate in sludgehood, nay, grow mine, I veritably possess them banished out, and reticence and modesty alike. Why, here's the golden age, old paradise or new utopia. Here's true life indeed, and the world well won now, mine. For the first time, and all this might be, maybe, and with good help of a little lying shall be. So, Sludge lies. Why, he's at worst your poet who sings how Greeks that never were, in Troy which never was, did this or the other impossible great thing. He's lol it's a world, you smile applause. Of his own invention wondrous. Longfellow, surprising Hawthorne, Sludged is more than they, and acts the books they write, the more his praise. But why do I mount to poets? Take plain prose dealers in common sense, set these at work, what can they do without their helpful lies? Each states the law and fact and face the thing just as he'd have them, finds what he thinks fit, is blind to what missuits him, just records what makes his case out, quite ignores the rest. It's a history of the world, the lizard age, the early Indians, the old country war, Jerome Napoleon, whatsoever you please, all as the author wants it. Such a scribe you pay and praise for putting life in stones, fire into fog, making the past your world. There's plenty of, how did you contrive to grasp the thread which led you through this labyrinth? How build such solid fabric out of air? How on so slight foundation found this tale? Biography, narrative, or, in other words, how many lies did it require to make the portly truth you here present us with? Oh, quoth the penman, purring. At your praise, is fancy all, no particle of fact. I was poor and threadbare when I wrote that book, Bliss in the Golden City. At Thebes, we writers paint out of our heads, you see. The more wonderful the gift in you, the more creativeness and godlike craft. But do I present you with my peace, what, Sludge? When my sainted mother spoke, the verses Lady Jane Grey last composed, about the rosy bower in the seventh heaven, where she and Queen Elizabeth kept house, you made the raps? 'T was your invention that? Cur, slave and devil. 8 fingers and 2 thumbs stuck in my throat. Well, if the marks seem gone, 't is because stiffish cocktail, taken in time, is better for a bruise than arnica. There, sir, I bear no malice, 't isn't in me. I know I acted wrongly, still, they tried what I could say in my excuse, to show the devil's not all devil. I don't pretend, he's angel, much less such a gentleman as you, sir. And I've lost you, lost myself, lost all LLL. No, are you in earnest, sir? Oh, yours, sir, is an angel's part. I know what prejudice prompts, and what's the common course men take to soothe their ruffled self-conceit, only you rise superior to it all. No, sir, it don't hurt much. It's speaking long that makes me choke a little. The marks will go. What, 20 notes more, an outfit too, and not a word to Greeley? One kiss o' the hand that saves me. You'll not let me speak, I well know, and they lost the right, too true. But I must say, sir, if she hears, she does. You're sainted. Well, sir, be it so. That's, I think, my bedroom candle. Good night. Bless you, sir. RRR, you brute beast and blackguard. Cowardly scamp. I only wish I dared burn down the house and spoil your sniggering. Oh what, you're the man, you, re-satisfied at last. They found out, Sludge? We'll see that presently. My turn, sir, next. I too can tell my story. Brute, do you hear? You throttled your sainted mother, that old hag, in just such a fit of passion. No, it was to get this house of hers, and many a note like these. I'll pocket them, however. 5, 10, 15. You gave her throat the twist, or else you poisoned her. Confound the cuss. Where was my head? I ought to have prophesied he'll die in a year and join her. That's the way. I don't know where my head is. What had I done? How did it all go? I said he poisoned her, and hoped he'd have grace given him to repent, whereon he picked this quarrel, bullied me and called me cheat. I thrashed him, who could help? He howled for mercy, prayed me on his knees to cut and run and save him from disgrace. I do so, and once off, he slanders me. An end of him. Begin elsewhere anew. Boston's a hole, the herring pond is wide, V-notes or something, liberty still more. Beside, is he the only fool in the world?